Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Robin, this is Digital Wilds, and welcome back to Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. You find us in Twilight Town, the creepiest town on Earth, where the mayor is about to be turned into a pig, and we are about to head over to the Creepy Steeple. So many have been turned into pigs already, it's time to find out what's going to afflict these townsfolk next. So this woman's shop is closed because her husband has been turned into a pig. Went to the woods yesterday to collect herbs, but no husband came home. Instead, a pig returned. We got into a fight before he left, and I called him a chauvinist pig, and now here he is. This text auto-scrolls, but if you press the Z button when it gets to the end, you can skip back through it, and it's basically her being all anxious about it, including him changing his socks. We can also take anything in the storeroom we like, except the storeroom is locked, so we're going to have to find the key in the woods. It's easy enough to find, though. So we need to get out of town, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that until we get the mayor's permission, but sadly, it looks like if we head and see the mayor, things might not be all well. Yes, indeed, the bell has rung, and Grimbella is concerned that it's going to be her. Weirdly, there aren't that many bells that ring to turn people into pigs after this point. This is kind of just an introductory mechanic that gets swiftly forgotten about with the narrative of this level. Not him. Got the mayor's house wrong. Indeed, it is this one. But unfortunately, we are too late. This pig is the mayor. What can we do now? We can't get his permission to pass through the gate. Well, fortunately, that is unlikely to be an issue for long. So here we go. With that guy pigified, we can head through this gate very nicely. First things first, head in here. We get ourselves the black key, and it looks like, yes, we are heading for another chest. So it's a Hyper Goomba, and it's the first time we've encountered these guys, looks like, because we haven't tattled them. They're basically Goombas, but they have more HP, and they can charge up their attacks. They're not particularly dangerous, but they are slightly ugly, so they can be a little bit damaging if you leave them too long, so we'll try and get rid of them without too much fuss. Indeed, there we go. There's one of them charging up their attacks, but fortunately, we should be able to handily defeat him in the next turn. Especially now we've got Grimbella powered up, she is quite mighty indeed. Plus now we've got the damage dodge badges, we can deflect their attacks entirely. And there we go, first battle of Chapter 4 complete. Always worth whacking the trees in places like this because you never know what you're going to get out. Seemingly nothing so far, but a coin out of there, which is not nothing. And a super mushroom out of that hidden block as well, which I didn't actually know was there. That was a complete accident of discovery. These are Hyper Paragoombas. They are Hyper Goombas, but they can fly. These are Hyper Spiky Goombas. They are exactly the same, but they have spikes. And with that, we make our way to the end of the room without any further incident. Still think there are some star pieces in here that I haven't managed to get yet, but that's a problem we'll solve down the line. So another piggy here. I don't know if we ever find out what that is, but yes, there is a fallen tree, which we can't get under, but that does get us the shop key using Coops. So head back to town, and that should solve our immediate issue of getting into the back room, where, surprise, surprise, we will find ourselves the black chest. Now, Twilight Town is a place you'd actually expect to find a cursed chest, but we also get a couple more useful items. We get ourselves a life shroom, we get ourselves a jam and jelly, which is great, restores 50 FP, slightly a surplus to requirements, but we throw out an in coupon to get that, and then we get the boo sheet as well, which basically turns Mario invincible for one turn. Ooh, Defend Plus, that is a handy one to have. It costs 5 BP though, so it's not a cheap one. We will equip it down the line, I imagine. So yeah, we'll speak to this black chest and get ourselves the next of the paper powers. And we got the key already, so let's get ourselves cursed without further ado. The king of curses, the cursiest cursed ever. Our body will roll up into a tube. This is generally one of the less useful skills because it only tends to come in handy periodically, but it's, you know, got its uses in terms of certain puzzles, especially in this chapter, so we're glad to have it. Well, there we go, and no further comment from Yoshi. Let's head back to that fallen log. Okay, so we're back to the log after a couple more battles, and we can easily roll our way under. Now, of course, there are more puzzles to be had in this area, but ultimately, this is a fairly obvious one. So, get out Flurry for one of what is not very many uses this chapter, and get ourselves a star piece from behind the pipe, the classic location, and head down over here. Okay, so this is our first encounter with the crazy daisies. These are angry little flowers that live in the woods, and they are not very nice, frankly. This one especially is not, because it has a thunder rage, which I'm going to need to get rid of with some haste. If we're unlucky, we might run into an Amazy Daisy, but that's an eventuality I don't want to think about, frankly. So just normal jump on this guy to get rid of him and get rid of that item risk. Boo Shoot is annoying, but ultimately not that harmful, and we should be able to take this guy out on the next turn. And there we go, with the whack of the hammer, down he goes. Oh, looks like our curse is still in effect, so we're getting doubled XP for this match. Very nice. Surely must be towards the end of the curse now, because we've been using it for like 2 chapters. Apparently not, though. Still going. Yep, so down the end here, we just got this brick block, which just contains coins. Not very valuable, considering we've got a couple of hundred of them at this point. But we can turn sideways, slip through this gap, and get ourselves a Earthquake. Attacks all ground-based enemies. Reasonably useful, more so than a Gradual Syrup, so I'll get rid of that. And another bunch of daisies to take down. Again, just normal daisies accompanied by some Goombas, so not the worst thing in the world to take out. Might use that Earthquake now, given that 3 of these enemies are ground-based. Not hugely powerful, does 5 damage each, but somewhat of a time saver. Now, the crazy daisies do have a chance of putting us to sleep, which would be annoying. Ah, and it's hit both of us, which is very bad luck, frankly. We do have a life stream if we can't recover anytime soon, and that Hyper Goomba is worrying me. But that has woken Mario up, so hopefully he can guard this attack. Fortunately, it's gone for Goombella rather than Mario, so he doesn't die, which is nice. Gonna want to take out that Goomba as a priority. Then take out the Daisy, so we don't get put to sleep again. And this guy takes a turn to charge, leaving us ample time to take him out. There we go, a couple of drop flowers from them, and an excuse to move over into the next room. In the second room, we encounter our first Hyper Cleft, I believe. These are relatives of the enemies we've been encountering throughout the game so far. Not too hard, really, but a bit of a pain if you can't super guard them, which is at least quite easy to do. And annoyingly, Goombella's been put to sleep. That is frustrating, especially for 4 turns. That's quite significant. Trying to think what the best option is here. I might power bounce the Daisy. If I swap out a partner, I could get Edgar to do a gulp. There we go. And that should be able to do significant damage to both of them. Bit of a waste of 4 FP, but necessary, I think, so I don't have to waste that life shroom. There we go, gaining significant EXP in this chapter, even if we are facing some fairly tough battles. There's a badge in this box. That's the Hammer Throw. Somewhat useful, particularly when you're facing more aerial enemies and spiky enemies that defy jumping or immediate hammering. Right, so again, quite an obvious flurry puzzle here. And through we go. This takes us through to this curious puzzle, and again, another flurry puzzle here. This one not as well signposted, but the second part of it is. But slam our way through here, end up in the background, and once we push this boulder for a couple of seconds, we'll open up our way through. Do not jump on the hypercleft. Do not want to jump on the hypercleft. Especially when we're not at this, not at a great level of HP. So here we are at Creepy Steeple. This is where the majority of the combat of the game is going to take place, and some significant amount of puzzling too. This is a very backtracky chapter, but yeah, we'll need to find out more about this monster that apparently lives here. So, quick excuse to use the heart block, and this gate is obviously locked, but we've got a couple of options, chief among which is to roll under there. Although, we can jump down the well, and I know that's useful later in the chapter, but I'm wondering if there's any benefit to doing it now. Yep, so we got a Buzzy Beetle. We've also got, importantly, a Shine Sprite, the first of the chapter. Did not mean to jump on that panel. These guys are susceptible to being jumped on. And they're fairly tough in terms of defense, but once you flip them over onto their back, they are fairly harmless. I think they've only got 5 HP as well. Yeah, defense 4, but explosions and jumping knocks them over, so it's easy enough. Other than the 3 experience we get for taking out that guy, oh, there's a lot of enemies in here. That is a problem, but we might as well take them out. Hammering this guy was obviously a mistake, because it's not going to do anything. Oh, and Bucket has made all the punies in the audience run away. That's annoying. So a lot of them in a row here, including one with a power punch. That's obviously not ideal. Multi-bounce should knock them all over. And Goombella can now take out a couple of them too, although I'm wondering if there's a benefit in using one of the other partners. No, I think... yeah, in fact, yeah, I think I'm right. Koops and Power Shell will do a significant amount of damage to all of them. Not enough to take them all down, but a multi-bounce next turn should do a similar job. Take out the X-Nauts in the audience. It would be very good to have Quake Hammer at this stage, but oh well. And there we go. Nearly at the next level up. We are 99 XP, so the next battle should do the job nicely. Oh, a first strike, but gives us an excuse to try and super guard. Didn't succeed, but it was worth a go. Anyway, that room is not very useful, but worth farming for EXP, because we can now get up to level 11. So, what's worth taking? I think more BP is always a good option. We've got a few more badges we can install and play around with. A couple more battles to deal with here first, though. So a series of very annoying battles later, we've cleared out that room and got a whole pile of coins for our trouble. Wasn't strictly worth it. We got Tornado Jump, which I can use to defeat airborne enemies. That puzzle we can't get past yet, but hopefully we've cleared out those guys in the long run. What that was good for doing was for farming experience, so we're now a fifth of the way up to level 12 as well. And now, after that diversion, we can head properly into Creepy Steeple and get going on Chapter 4. I think there's some kind of star piece available around here, although I'm not clear on where. Perhaps I'm wrong. Oh, no, there's one there behind the gate. I thought there was. Anyway, into the Creepy Steeple. And there's some amazing stained glass art on the wall, but our main concern is that locked door up there. But also, first things first, roll under this small gap in the wall. You get into this back room, which contains, among other things, Shine Sprite, very important. Star piece back there, very important. And 2 chests. This contains the cookbook. We can take that back to Zesty in Rogueport, and she will make us recipes that include up to 2 ingredients, which massively expands our cooking capacity. And we also get ourselves the Ice Smash badge. We do actually have 3 more badge points, so probably better stop and allocate those quickly before we get on further with the chapter. Let's have a look. Ice Smash is only 1. Another last stand for half damage when in danger would not go amiss. We already have it equipped once. Would that drop it to a quarter, minimizing it at 1? That might be useful. Chill Out is quite handy, actually, because succumbing to first strikes is annoying. Hammer Throw is worthwhile, and yeah, let's equip the other last stand as well. Once we get more BP, we can equip some more expensive badges, but I think for now that's a good selection. If we head to the end here, we can move this statue, and unfortunately, fall down into the basement. And there's a couple of things going on here. A very obvious fake wall in the background here. Get out Flurry for that one. Have you head back here and along. Get ourselves a chest back here, which has a Flower Saver badge in it. We can already get one of those from Dazzle, but if you equip 2, you can drop your flower points required by 2. I don't think it drops below a requirement of 1, but that means that you can get some fairly cheap attacks in, which is always nice. Stretches your FP a lot further. And this is the box that is key. An underground corridor. Flames are kind of freaky. The fact that they're burning means someone must have been here recently. Well, let's unlock it and see what's going down. And yeah, much like in Luigi's Mansion, the boos are loose. So those guys are now infecting the Creepy Steeple. They're not a huge amount. Oh god, how many came out? I don't know, 100? Oh, the answer was 200, but we could have got a gift if we got the answer right. Sadly, we weren't paying attention or able to count at some kind of savant rate. Anyway, that door at the end is locked. We will be getting through there at some point, but for now, time to head back up. This is this game's first occurrence, I wouldn't say only occurrence, of a secret boss. This place is now infected with booze, so if you have a chat with them, I am going to be mean to them, and if I say I'm not going to be mean to them, then they take over the steeple and will start to swarm us. And what you want to do is kind of start to let them, and as you go, they'll start drawing in closer and closer to you, particularly if you walk around. And as they start to cling on to you, you got to hammer them back, like so. Before they take you over, if they take you over completely, they'll drag you back to the entrance. But if you hit them back enough times, then they accuse you of lying, and they'll form up into the Super Atomic Boo. And this guy is technically a boss. He doesn't have much to do with the chapter, but he's an interesting Tattlelog addition to have. He's not that tough. I think he has 40 HP and no defense and a relatively limited attack, so he's not too bad. But yeah, 40 attack 4, defense 0, so not too bad. And he can spit booze out, which you want to be a little bit careful of. But you know what, power bounce and the usual methods should take care of him fairly swiftly. And yeah, he can attack both at once, which you want to be a little bit careful of, but could be worse. Multi-bonk. There we go, nearly halfway down already. And if we guard, we can reduce that to 2, so he's not much of a risk at all. 6 HP damage from even a normal Goombella attack, and if we're lucky with this, yeah, we're lucky with the bingo roll at a time when it's actually useful, so we'll get our HP topped up. And the audience fills up with booze. Only half of them got in though, only 100. Okay, so he's covering his face. I imagine that means he's going to do his booze spit attack in a moment, but we should have managed to kill him before then, because he's only got 4 HP left, and here we go. So there we go, that's the Atomic Brew down for 20 XP. I think that's a fixed 20 XP, or it's just geared to the level the game expects it'll be by the time you get here. So yeah, he goes down, and with that, we get ourselves the Lucky Start, which is really interesting badge. I'm going to equip it, I think, just because it's worth checking out. It needs 4 BP, so what we can do is we can probably unequip Mega Rush P, we're not getting a huge amount of use out of, and I wouldn't say that for now we particularly need Damage Dodge, and we can probably unequip the second last stand as well. So now that we've got that, we can equip Lucky Start, and we'll have a look at what happens when we start battles from now on. It makes life a little bit easier. So our next protocol is taking out these swoopulars in the areas to the side of the house. Once we get to the back of the... These guys like to hang from the rafters of the stage, which is a bit annoying because it means they're hard to hit. But yes, so we get a lucky effect on the start of the battle, and in this case it's a lucky start of HP recovery, which is nice. So if we take a hit, we'll recover 2 HP a turn for the first 3 turns. And you know, it's not something that's going to revolutionise how you battle, but it's nice. I believe if we switch over to Flurry, she can attack those guys. I don't think there's anything I can do for now. Oh, I could Hammer Throw, but I don't have the FP for it. Oh well, I'll just defend for now. There we are, so the fog fades, and Flurry can do a body slam on this guy. There we go. And that should drop him off the rafters as well, so now... Oh! Well, we all got hit by that, but that takes the guy down, so I'm not about to complain. Second swoop here. Might as well keep Flurry out, because she's useful for body slamming them when they're out of range. And what's my lucky effect this time? Oh, I'm dodgy, so I am likely to evade attacks. Lovely. Yeah, body slam that guy down, and then we can jump on him to finish him off. And crucially, if we turn sideways and slip through this gap, then push our way around to the back of the stage, we can find this golden tree. If we whack it with our hammer, we get ourselves the golden leaf. Replenishes 10 FP, which is, you know, fine but unspectacular, but the real joy of the golden leaf is it's quite a rare cooking item, which I think you can only find there. I don't know if there's anywhere that sells it, possibly Charlieton does, but generally it's not an item you get a huge amount of use of on its own, but it can be useful for completing your recipe log. So we can head out of this side, but there's not much on this end of the building. We can unlock... we can basically remove this staircase using those red blocks. We need to move it to the top rather than the bottom, but I'm going to move it to the bottom just in case there's anything we can collect by going up there. If you go out of the middle, of course, you just drop back down. So that's probably not worth doing. Oh, there's some boos up here. Okay, so we can get a tattle log of them. Okay, and my FP will briefly recover. That's actually quite useful because I've been running low. And we'll first off get Goombella out and go for the tattle. 7 HP and no defense. They're not too bad. But I do need to take out that guy with the dizzy dial because I don't want to get dizzy dialed. There he goes. So now the rest of them shouldn't be much of a threat to me. They can turn invisible, which is annoying, but ultimately they don't attack when they're doing that, so you know you can withstand it. Plus, more time to let our FP recover. I'm not sure whether there's any value to going out on this limb. Oh, there's a steeple key there. So we did need to do this actually, because that's the key that unlocks that door across the way. So we'll send Koops over to get that. We can also Yoshi over there, I believe. It's not really worth doing, but there's an alternative. And yeah, there is the monster on the stained glass window there. Very, very cool. There's no actual piranha plants in this level, so I don't know why that was included in the mural, but I guess they look neat. And now we need to move that staircase 2 notches to the right. So whack this once. Annoyingly, we have to sit through the animation for each time. And whack it again. So more boos up on this landing, but otherwise an uneventful trip. So I've just had a little look at the wiki page for the Lucky Start badge. Basically, we can either recover HP, recover FP, we can become electrified, or we can become dodgy. Neither of which are particularly great status effects, but they're kind of useful periodically. I'm going to keep it equipped for now. If we find a way that is... If we find a bunch of badges that are more useful in combat later, we may equip those instead, but for now I'm happy to keep it going. So we are in the steeple part of the Creepy Steeple, and it's time for us to climb up and meet the monster himself. Players of... Paper Mario 1 may recognise this guy as a Duplighost. They don't appear as enemies in this game other than this guy, but he's the monster who runs the Creepy Steeple, and he's just sitting here watching his TV and minding his own business, but turns out Mario's interfering with his TV time. So it's a very confusing logic for why he is turning everyone to pigs, but we can firstly see the electrification effect there from Lucky Start, and we can get a tackle in on this guy. Unfortunately, we don't know his name yet. That's going to become quite relevant down the line. But he's got the same stats as the Atomic Boo, so he's not too bad. And doesn't exactly have much in the way of attacks. So you'll see when Mario's electrified, enemies take damage when they touch him. It's a minor effect. It doesn't negate damage, it only deals 1 damage in return, but you know, 1 damage is better than a poke in the eye, so I'll take it. So interesting, he now gets out his special effect. And what he does is he can scan our characters. And create little clones of us. So, doesn't change his damage output, but it's quite annoying. Hopefully, we should finish him off now. So there we go, 20 star points, taking us up towards level 12 very swiftly. And looks like we've beaten the 4th chapter of Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Thank you very much for joining me, and goodbye. No, it's not that easy. And you can tell this doesn't amount to a real chapter ending because it doesn't tell us which ability we get as a result of the Ruby Star. It's actually the best one in the game, but, you know, we will learn that down the line. Mario defeated the Scourge of Creepy Steeple and found the 4th Crystal Star. The people of Twilight Town have surely recovered from their awful curse by now. At this rate, Mario's quest to collect all 7 Crystal Stars will be done in no time. With his back to Creepy Steeple, Mario sets out towards his bright future. Wow, are you kidding me? What a total pushover. Well, we got the Crystal Star, so let's get out of here. Yeah, this is not actually as over as you'd think. Because we're now playing as Shadow Mario, or whatever he's called. Apparently jumping in this bath doesn't hurt him, despite the fact that water generally summons chain chomps. In fact, there isn't a whole lot we can do in this room. It's basically never used again. Which is odd, because you'd think there'd be like a hidden item or something in here, but no, there really isn't. I wonder if we can open the fridge. Nope, not even that. Can't smash the TV either. Oh well, back down we go. Okay, so back out, and we can hop down here, avoid the booze, and head back to town. First though, a cutscene. Whee! Yes, this time we'll take that Mario and get his map. It's the Shadow Sirens again. With the Super Bomb here, there's no way we can fail. No, it's not likely. Vivian, hand me that glorious Super Bomb. Vivian, don't you dare. Does that huh mean what I think it does? I never had it. You were holding it just 2 seconds ago. You said it was too important to trust me with. Oh, you terrible liar. Stop making up stories to cover for yourself. If I don't have it, then obviously you must have it, and obviously you lost it. Or are you trying to imply that I lost it, you little lollygagging worm? I love the word lollygagging. No, of course not, Beldam. Well, we can't do much without it, can we now? Oh, you are such an idiot. Very well, I'm sure you must have dropped it around here somewhere, so why don't you look for it while Marilyn and I go take a well-earned siesta. And if you don't find it, well, you know what'll happen, don't you? I get punished. That's right, you little twit, so get cracking. Come, Marilyn, let's leave this useless little fool to her chore. Oh, I do enjoy the Shadow Sirens. So, Shadow Mario is not Shadow in the same way as them, but he is going to have to head back towards them. Getting through this forest when you've got no partners and it's quite easy to get caught by the enemies you're trying to dodge around is a little bit of a pain, but hopefully we can do it without too many random encounters, he said, entering a random encounter. Without partners, our damage output is severely limited, so I'm going to just quickly run from a lot of these, because it's frankly just quicker. We're not wanting for XP, so, you know, we can afford to. We effectively lose a few coins every time we run, but it's not too bad. By the way, if you're looking for a quick way to travel around and you don't have Yoshi on your team because you've been turned into Shadow Mario, using the tube state is not actually a bad idea. Plus, there's a star piece hidden behind that log. Downside is it does come at the cost of maneuverability, so you're a little bit stuck until you can get Yoshi back. Okay, and here we are. As we head back to town, we have been encountered from behind the sky somehow by whoever this mysterious interloper is. The challenge he sets us is if we can guess his name, like Rumpelstiltskin, we will be able to get our body back. And unfortunately, there is a letter missing, which is annoying. So we're going to name him Dunce, in case he is named after the dunce cap that he wears. Sadly, that is not correct, and we have to fight him, but until we know his name, we cannot deal any damage to him. So all we can do is run away. And that lets us zoom out of this area nice and quickly. Now that we're back in town, we are obviously not trusted as Mario in the same way that we were before, but we can listen to those crows cawing away. But our actual next objective is to, one, get that star piece from behind that fence there, so that takes us up to 3 for this level. But if we head over here, we'll run into Vivian, who's been abandoned by her sisters to look for the Super Bomb. It's actually in one of these bushes. It gets brought up in a cutscene later, but that's not our objective for now. Oh, apparently it is. There we go. We found it. Okay, so now she's our friend. And apparently it's broken. Oh no. Oh, okay, I can't fix the bomb that she was going to use to kill me, sadly. Ah, so she can't hear us when we say our name. Our name was stolen. That's absolutely crazy. Yes, you're right, Vivian. So they get chatting and they're kind of friends. And they've both got lots of problems and decide that they have a shared interest in working together. So we have ourselves a new partner. And Vivian's kind of useful, because she can basically hide Mario into the shadows. She also has fire attacks, which are kind of handy against enemies that are weak to that. So as well as hiding from people in battle, we can hide from people in the overworld, and that sometimes leads to us being able to overhear what they're saying. So, our next objective is going to be getting back over to the Creepy Steeple so we can steal that ghost's name. And Vivian's power is going to be quite useful for that. So, as an example, when we are in the zone where we can listen to those crows call, if we hide instead, they speak in human. So I was chatting with Rockbeak in Mushroom Town on Instant Messenger yesterday, and he said he'd just gone fibre optic on his home network. You believe that? Rad. I bet he's downloading 100 meg apps with no problem on those fat pipes. He's probably surfing that Feather Club for Crows site at the speed of light now. Yeah, it just blows me away, all this information age hype you hear about. And yet it's all games and Featherloss sites that are driving the technology. Yeah, but I think tech bust survivors can thrive if they get viable business models. I absolutely love this because it's just so indicative of its era, that are sort of like 2004. But also just the fact that they bothered writing that dialogue for those random crows in this town. Star piece behind that house, by the way. So that takes us up to 4 for this chapter. Let's hear what these other crows have to say. I've been really depressed lately, thinking about the depletion of fossil fuels. Yeah, tell me about it. We've got to come up with a renewable energy source before that happens. Like wind or hydroelectric. I think solar energy probably has the greatest potential. Well, I'm glad humanity came and solved that one in the 16 years since this game came out, crows. What does the next crow have to say? Alas, this twilight world is too full of pain and contradiction, too full of broken dreams. Perhaps I was only given wings so that I could flee the terror of mundanity. Ah, we got a goth crow over here, I see. What about these lads? Hey Maud, listen to this. Ronnie, my oldest, is taking his SATs this year. Oh, is little Ronnie that age already? Well, bless my feathers flow. I love this, they're like housewives. I think we got another tree full of crows over here. That's the last of the batch, sadly, but, you know. So that Mario guy meeting with the mayor, he's actually the bad guy, right? And nobody even knows. Humans are so dumb, it makes me want to peck their noses. The only soul that knows the bad guy's name is locked under Creepy Steeple, I hear. Because, you know, if no one knows your name, then you can use unstoppable magic. But if someone says your real name to you, then your magic will stop working. So, I wonder how all this is going to end up, then. Yay, it's the Statler and Waldorf. And they weren't wrong. Yeah, this is actually good plot knowledge. And also, you'll note that everyone's changed back into their pre-pig form now, which means if we go and head over to the shop, we'll see that things are a little bit different. And the guy who was meant to be the husband is not actually the husband. Oh, I do not understand this madness. No, I just do not get it. I remember coming here by that pipe, but it gets all fuzzy after that, and I do not know why I'm here. Not that it is a problem. This little filly is très fishy, huh? Anyway, my worst French accent aside, turns out there's a little bit of a fight between Mr. Twilight Town and the creepy French guy. Anyway, we don't need anything from them, but useful to catch up on the local gossip. Strangely, this guy doesn't mind me going between here and Creepy Steeple now, even though he's been returned to human form. So here we are with Dupless again. We're just going to have to run from this battle for a second time, which is annoying, but, you know, an unavoidable reality. So just going to guess the random letter F, because we want to pay respect to Shadow Mario. And he says no running, but we are actually allowed to run. Starting this battle isn't actually that bad, because we still get the lucky start effect, so it's useful for recovering a couple of FP. Anyway, we'll try and dodge some random battles to get over to Creepy Steeple, and I'll see you there. Well, we've got a random encounter here, so it's a good excuse to show off Vivian in battle. Basically, she has these flame attacks like Shade Fist, which we can use to attack ground or air-based enemies, which is nice. Basically, you have to button match, but I did that not very successfully that time, so only got 4 damage, but she does basically the same damage as Flurry does. Unfortunately, no natural defense, so she does take a fair whack when we get hit by enemies. What does this do? Okay, that turns the water on, which removes status effects from us. Not hugely useful, but thank you very much. Again, being terrible at this button matching sequence. So with this level of XP gain, we should probably advance on level 12 by the time that we get back to the steeple, so I will see you there. Okay, so we're back at Creepy Steeple. Did not get into any more random encounters after that, so that was handy. And this time, we are going to jump down the well, and hopefully those buzzy beetles have not respawned. No, that was too optimistic, apparently. I wonder if this room full of them has come back. Oh god, it has. Oddly, they can't attack right at the doors. I presume that's to stop you having to enter battles in immediately, but that's quite handy. So, I don't know how well Vivian's attacks penetrate defenses, so I'm going to use it to take out that guy with the earthquake first. weirdly, they're not affected by electrification, which is unfortunate. Vivian's attacks have a chance to inflict a burn status effect as well, which is kind of handy, particularly if you're up against enemies with high defense. This once we can get this guy down, should be the experience we need to level up. And there we go. That last guy down, we should be into level 12. And once again, we'll be going for badge points. There are obviously a lot more of these guys to go, so I'm just going to get through these battles and I'll join you when they're over. We've just got utterly screwed over by the random number generator there. We got hosed down by the ice spewing things on stage twice in a row, which meant that Mario died and I had to waste my life stream on it. Hell of a way to go. Probably going to whack this little bastard down in one go now. There we go. Yeah, so things are not looking particularly positive for Mario and Vivian, and we've still got quite a few battles to get through. Okay, so we've finally taken all those guys down for the second time. That was honestly not worth it, and I shouldn't have done it the first time. We can basically, yeah, if we push this, push that grate up, we can now go into Veil mode and sneak into this back room here. So as well as our third Shine Sprite of the level, we get a save block, and we can now roll into a tube. Hop up these little steps. I'm not sure what the purpose of this place is supposed to be. And butt stomp our way down into here. So to the left we've got a tube slot, and to the right we have nothing. Oh, we got a star piece behind that windowsill, so that's okay. That's something. So roll our way through here, and we get deposited in this secret room. And what have we got here but a parrot? Plus a Power Plus badge. That is extremely good, and I will be equipping that at the earliest possible opportunity. In fact, I will do right now. Basically, that gives Mario's attacks from both hammer and jump an extra point, which I think is almost worth replacing the Lucky Start with. What can we get rid of instead? Hammer Throw we don't need. Chill Out we don't need. Is there anything else we can get rid of to save a point? For now, multi-bounce, although I'll want to re-equip that again relatively soon. But Power Plus is good for now. Plus, there's another 2 chests in here. A steeple key that opens a door to some room. And the letter P, and letter needed to get Mario's name and body back. This parrot is only willing to say good morning, but if we go into Heidi mode... Scrah? What happened to those weirdos who were just here? Ah, whatever. It was almost nice to have some company. I mean, no matter how important it is that no one knows his real name, locking me up in here just because I know it, and making me guard the name's stupid missing letter, no way to treat a parrot. I really want a cracker. Duplis, you're a big meanie. When's feeding time, huh? So his name is Duplis, and he's, yep, been caught out. So now, we should be able to chase him back to the steeple. Now, unfortunately, this is going to mean more backtracking. So again, I'll skip to when we've been through the forest and so on for the next time. Ah, so here we have the rare beast of the Amazy Daisy. This is not something I was actually hoping to run into, frankly, because they can very easily kill us. What I'm going to do is, with Vivian's turn, I'm going to enable a Boo Sheet on Mario, which will protect him from all attacks for the next 2 turns. And then we're going to start power bouncing on this Amazy Daisy. These guys have a lot of HP, so don't be surprised if you cannot take it out, but we'll try and dodge as much as we can. And they are quite prone to running, but they've got a... this guy has an Ultra Shroom, 50 HP, but if we can take it out, it's worth a huge amount of experience. So that was slightly annoying, actually. Oh, someone's going to throw a bonus as if I don't act soon. Yeah, ideally you'd want to be in this battle with an extra partner, but we don't have one, so just going to have to do my best to attack this guy. Sadly, no fire effect on that. Oh, another bloody rock. The audience interactions are getting quite annoying now. We'll see if we can't power bounce this guy again. Probably not going to be enough to kill it, and it might well run away, but it's worth a go. Yeah, there it goes. Sadly, you don't want an Amazing Daisy to attack you. Their attack is very powerful. It does 20 damage. Anyway, good opportunity to show off our Power Plus badge, if nothing else. So a spin jump now does 8 damage rather than 6. Very nice. Basically, the Amazing Daisies are the only enemy that past about level 40 will give you any meaningful experience points. So they're useful to sort of come here and farm, particularly if you're looking to level grind late in the game. There is technically a level cap of 99 on this game, but obviously it's very difficult to get to because past about 40, enemies only give you 1 experience point. So we are literally out of the woods, and if we can get past the Goombas, we'll be able to take on Duplis. Generally, a good rule when you're dodging random encounters in this game is if you hug the walls, they're generally not that easy to... they generally don't find it that easy to get you. Anyway, here he goes. So once more, we attempt to guess the name, and in this case, do make sure you do it in the correct case, by the way, because it is case sensitive. There we go. So he's very shocked on low resolution, and with that, he's going to run back to the Creepy Steeple, and guess what this means? More backtracking. Got ourselves another Amazing Daisy here. Again, frankly, not what I want, but nah, honestly, it's not worth the risk. They're so dangerous if they attack you that I can't keep burning items on it. I'm going to have to come back when I've got a full complement of partners. That's probably the safest way to do it. And these guys are very tough to dodge in these tight spaces, I'm afraid. So it's just such a slog going back and forth through this level. Even though we're now back in the steeple, we have to go through the corridor, fight the swoopulas, hit the block, move the staircase, go back upstairs, climb the steeple. And, you know, there's just so much of this chapter is pointless busy work. It's really frustrating. And, you know, it is, let's be honest, a fairly generic haunted house / Rumpelstiltskin level. It is not breaking any creative bounds like the wrestling level or one of the chapters that's going to follow. This is ultimately a little bit boring, but we are nearly at the end of it now, so it's time for our final confrontation with the impersonator, and time to get Mario's name and identity back. And here we go. So time to put an end to it, and we will this time be up against our partners as well. They're right there with him, except they think he's me. We're going to have to disabuse them of this notion with fists and hammers. So it's us versus them, and for some reason Vivian, though she feels betrayed, is still willing to fight on our side. Do concentrate your fire on... Oh no, we don't get Vivian. Yeah, she's not willing to help, so it's literally just me. Okay, concentrate your fire on Duplis, because the partners, while they will deal extra damage, if you defeat one, he will just swap them out, and you basically want to get through this battle by taking him out as quickly as possible. Being electrified at the start of the battle obviously helps. So again, another power bounce. He's already halfway down. I kind of wish he'd stop hammering and start actually jumping on me, because it's easier to guard. I'm getting a little bit low on health here, actually. It's getting a little bit concerning. Okay, and now Vivian has joined us, which is obviously making things a lot easier on this... which obviously makes things a lot easier in terms of defending Mario from hits and dealing extra damage. So I'll use a Shade Fist on Duplis. There we go, managed to inflict some fire damage, so he's now on fire, and we'll take the 1 damage turn from that for 2 turns. I need to get my health up, and I think, although it's a bit of a waste, using the Super Shroom is probably the best option. There we go. Ooh, managed to get spin jump there. Goombella not doing too much harm, though. So another Shade Fist there. So only 11 HP remaining. A final power bounce should be able to take this guy out. Ah, 1 HP remaining, but the fire damage should be able to take him down. Plus, they're mainly focusing their attacks on Vivian now, so that's good. There he goes. And there we have it, 21 XP for us. And the battle ends without us having to take out the partners. So with that, Dupless is done, and he bounces out the Creepy Steeple and off to pastures new. That wasn't the real Mario, no. You did get shell winked, and you decided to attack your boss, so I'm going to dock your pay and work you twice as hard now, you dogs.
Oh yeah.
Now, Vivian is joining our team, so let's have this Crystal Star. So Vivian has joined our party for good, which gives us 5 partners of the 7 we get throughout this game. And here's the 4th Crystal Star. So we are more than halfway through our adventure. Star power is now 5. Mario has learned the special move Art Attack. That is very, very good news. Art Attack is a mighty, mighty move which you'll be able to do. You'll be able to, you know, one-shot bosses with. It is incredibly powerful. So that's the end of Chapter 4. Let's see what the ending scroll has to say. Mario defeated the rogue who had stolen his name and appearance. Now Mario has 4 Crystal Stars, that leaves a mere 3 more to find, and that means his quest to collect all of the Crystal Stars is more than half over. Now Mario heads off towards his next adventure with his new friend Vivian. But what about Beldam and Marilyn? And what became of the doppelganger, Dupless? Yep, indeed. So as Chapter 4 wraps up, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Robin, this has been Digital Wilds. If you want to help me grow the channel, you can always subscribe, and I am on Patreon as well at patreon.com/digitalwilds. So thanks very much for watching, and thanks very much for listening. This has been Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, and I will see you next time.